To you, Taurus, out here. Hope y'all having a great day. So you have the Queen of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, and then you, Taurus, actually have the Afterlife card. I can't even say the D word, but Scorpio energy. It would not be a, say it with me now, if you've been here on my channel for a while, it would not be a Taurus video if there was no Scorpio in it. I don't know why, I don't know how, but Scorpio cards keep popping up. So there's a sense of you, Taurus, being able to actually, there's a sense of there's a sense of you, Taurus, doing things completely differently. How it is that you used to be. You, Taurus, are different, right? Says the Scorpio energy. So you're gonna operate and you're gonna move like things are different because they are. So there's no sense of you, Taurus, being the same exact way, the way that you used to when you were scared, timid, and you were afraid to actually speak up for yourself. Not saying that you Scorpios were punks, not Scorpios, you Taurus were punks. But what I am saying is the fact that Taurus is the zodiac sign that rules over silence. And there's a sense of you, Taurus, having to actually learn to speak up when it comes to things that are done, that are unjustified. You, Taurus, have to essentially speak up for those things, right? That's part of the reason why it is that you share a planet with Libra, because Libra represents fairness, justice, right? And Taurus, you represent silence. But it's also a sense of when things are not necessarily the way that they should be, and you know that there's injustice, you have to learn, especially when it's done to you, you have to learn to actually speak up when it comes time every now and again, you know, because something is really bothering you, something has seriously struck a nerve with you. It's time for you, Taurus, to actually speak up and let yourself be heard, as opposed to not saying anything when you have an opportunity to, and you just being scared to speak up because you don't want to ruffle any feathers. I'm gonna be honest with you, Taurus, and I've said this before, right? I love the way that a lot of you are acting because, and this is what I've been saying since this year began, you're not gonna run away from confrontation. There is no exception. You're not gonna run away from it. And what I mean when I say that, I mean like, let me make it clear, because I don't want people to misconstrue that. What I mean by that is, can you walk away from when someone is trying to have a problem with you? Yeah, you can. But what I'm trying to say with that is, confrontation, you are going to get into it at least one point in your life. You're going to have, if you've ever argued before, that's confrontation. So if you don't get it one way, then you get confrontation in another way by somebody else. And the point that I'm trying to make here is, it's up to you, Taurus, to be able to understand what is important for you to actually speak up on. Libra, right? Justice, right? And when it's time to remain silent, Taurus. So there's a sense of you, Taurus, there's a sense of you, Taurus, basically changing the way that you move. You're much more confident in who you are. So you're not going to, people are expecting you to remain quiet as they try to play you, right? They may not even know you, but I'm talking about from a spiritual level, where they'll try to play you. Says the Eight of Wands and the Three of Cups. They'll first make it seem like they have your back, but then they'll somehow try to find a way to betray you, right? Specifically romantically. And then at that point, it will be up to you, Taurus, to actually do something. Whether you leave them alone and you X them out of your life, right? Just excommunicate them, or whether you speak up and you say, hey, listen, that's not what it is, and they need to stop that. You, Taurus, are being represented by your higher self to actually start speaking up when it's necessary, and to start doing something when it's necessary. Because if you don't, right, if you don't, you're going to actually people are going to essentially give you a very difficult time just on a regular basis when it comes to the matters of the heart. They're gonna turn you into Pisces, because Pisces isn't even taking that anymore. But they're gonna turn you like how they used to treat Pisces, which is they would treat you, Taurus, like Pisces. Like they'll not take you seriously. They will deliberately go out of their way to disappoint you. And it's like, for you, Taurus, you have to understand that it's essential. And I understand why it is that you, Taurus, sometimes remain cool, calm, and collected. It's because you don't know how to control your temper and you could spaz out. But that's why it is that I say that you have to learn to control your temper so that you can be able to actually know when and where, when to speak up for yourself, and when to not necessarily speak up for yourself, because not everything has to be spoken for, while at the same time you, Taurus, have to understand that it only needs to be spoken for when it's truly important. Thus the whole mantra, silence is golden, being able to essentially pick your battles, being able to know when and where, etc., etc., etc. And then you have the Knight of Pentacles, right? The Knight of Pentacles, Five of Cups, and the King of Pentacles. So it could even start off at your job, where people are giving you difficulties on your job. Some of you, Taurus, may be having difficulties when it comes to a romantic interest, where it's like you're dating, and then the actual just feeling them out to see who they are doesn't even really last that long, because it doesn't really last that long because they show you how much they could violate and disrespect you. And a lot of you, Taurus, this is a point in time where you, Taurus, may want to actually speak up right now. So this is something that's currently happening to you, Taurus, where there's a sense of you, Taurus, are called to really start speaking up for yourselves and actually setting the record straight. Because if you don't, people are going to continue to try to make you feel down and intentionally do this. And you even have someone right now that may be giving you the blues because they have these types of issues with you, right? Here they are with their passive aggressive nature, and you, Taurus, have to tell them off. But you're so reluctant to tell them off. And I'm gonna be real with you. You Taurus, need to be a live wire. And when I say you need to be a live wire, I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. You need to get to a point where people look at you like you kind of not really all the way up there and you kind of off your rocker. But you're not. It's just that you just understand that the world needs a beast. The world needs an individual that people could be scared of and misunderstood. And that if you don't learn how to actually make amends with your value system and to manage that, being any extreme of anything is bad, right? It's just as bad to be as confrontational to the extreme as it is to be too passive and let people do whatever they want, say whatever it is that they want, just because you, Taurus, want to essentially keep the peace. And again, the Five of Cups, here you, Taurus, you feel like you got to say something, but the situation is that you, Taurus, you haven't been speaking up, even though you've been getting to know some people. So, and the thing is that you have the King of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, and like it is I said before, the Page of Pentacles, which is about how you, Taurus, they've been using that to their advantage, in the sense that they're trying to see how far they can actually go with this thing before you, Taurus, actually decide to say something to them, right? Actually decide to speak up for yourself. And and you have some people in your life right now, whether it's on a job, romantically, or family-wise, or all three, or two, or maybe just one. But again, you have to legitimately create that level of harmony within yourself, where you have that switch where you can have beef or have problems or have confrontation with anybody, but you can also make peace too. And it has to be, and this is what I'm talking about, it has to be a switch. It has to be you know what I'm saying? Like, I have that, and I could have been in a messed up situation if I didn't learn how to control that a lot better. But I have that myself, right? And Aries moon too. You feel what I'm saying? I got the crabs, the zodiac sign in my chart as well, right? You see what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? Virgo, you feel what I'm saying? So things could go from 0 to 100 real quick, or at least it used to be that way. Now it can still go to a 0 to 100 real quick. I'm still a Zaraki Kenpachi at the end of the day. Only people who watch Bleach or anime, or specifically the Bleach anime, will understand that reference. But I'm still a Zaraki Kenpachi at the end of the day. It's just that the situation for me is that I've learned to have other tools, as opposed to, it has to be the same thing for you, Taurus, is what I'm getting at. You, Taurus, have to have that same level of knowing how to essentially control yourself, because you don't want to spaz out, because you don't want to end up, beasting on people. But you have to learn how to control that. That way, when people think that you punk and you passive, they thinking of you as being too nice. And you can't and the things that you really, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made it to 16,700 and change subscribers. Being the same way, telling people off. You know what I'm saying? Being the same way. Being the same way. And I'm not going to say who, but a lot of people contact me on the low when they come in to get readings from me. Sometimes they really do let me know, like, yo, like, you actually made it this far. I appreciate you, because you legitimately made it this far, and you're not kissing anybody's behind. You really have been the same way. Like, you've gotten better. Personality has gotten better. Your knowledge has gotten bigger, broader, right? You're more able to communicate what you want to say, and you've done that without kissing people's butt, right? My the pores are starting to raise up, yo. My hairs are standing up, but it's the truth. It's like, I've been able to make it this far without having to do any of that. And that's why it is I'm saying that for you, Taurus, it is possible. It's just that you, Taurus, got to get to a point where you learn that good mix. What I call I don't call a happy medium. I call it a mix. You learn that good mix for yourself, that moderate mix, where for you, right, if someone disrespects you, right, you can evaluate if the disrespect is worth confrontation or if it is not. And then if it's not, leave it alone. If it is, then you actually say something, or you do something about it, right? Accordingly, of course. I don't want people to go off and say, oh, well, Kareem said that I didn't say all that. Accordingly, okay? Responsibly. And like I said, when it's a good time to chill, because not everything should go to 100. Not everything should go to 100. Some things should go to 50. Sometimes things should go to 60, 70. Sometimes things should go to 95 and then cool down. So let's clarify the Page of Pentacles. You have the Star card, the World, Three of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, and then you have the Knight of Wands. So if these people are messing with you and everything like that, the Three of Pentacles represents here, once it is that you can find a place to actually do that, you don't even have to do that with everybody. Because I used to have that same problem myself. And now it's at a point where I don't need to do that to everybody, because spiritually, the collective unconscious, if you've never heard of it, is where it's like you only need to do things a couple of times before people get the idea. And it just, again, this is how you know spirituality is a real thing. The energy of the fact that you went from 0 to 100 accordingly, for whatever reason, people just don't rock with you as far as mess with you and try to mess up your peace of mind and play games with you like that, right? It just gets into the collective unconscious. So the way that it works is you do that a couple of times. People don't mess with me like that. People don't mess with me at all as far as try to get on my bad side, truth be told. They used to try to do that a lot when I was a little one, but not anymore because they know that I'll spaz if I need to. Maybe not on everything, you know what I'm saying? Because I practice patience. But at the same time, people come on now. People have seen me spaz out before. They've seen me. They know what type of time it is. If you take it, I'm gonna let you joke on me a little bit, like I've been talking about. But that's to a point though. I'm not gonna let you just do so much to the point. I let you just walk into my home, take anything that you want, slap me in the face with a slab of ribs, just be okay with it, and then you walk out of it cool. Nah, I'm gonna kick you out of my house is what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Um, and the point that I'm trying to make here with that is that's how you Taurus can benefit from this. The Star card, the World card, the Three of Pentacles, basically they're waiting on you, right? You got to get out of your own way is what I'm trying to say, right? Because the Nine of Swords and the Knight of Wands, again, they're going to keep seeing how far they could possibly go until you, Taurus, have a nervous breakdown and you just give up. And that's what happens to people that's what happens to people who have a Delta's lifestyle. This is why it is that you'll see Delta snap, right? And what I mean when I say a Delta, I'm talking about the personality type, right? The personality type that just takes and takes and takes and takes and takes, and they just get hammered down, right? They just get they just completely just get hammered down. And then you have the Sigma types, which are anti-fragile. So you got to get to a point where you're anti-fragile. But that's pretty much it for now. Hope y'all liked the reading. I hope it gave y'all enough description and it was described. It was in depth enough for you, Taurus, to understand you have problems with other people that you need to actually fix. And how you fix those problems is by learning how to be more confrontational and straightforward. Don't just close your mouth and expect people to be compassionate to your feelings all the time, because some people are deliberately doing it. They are making a point to try to take advantage of you, and they will go as far as you will let them. So that's it. Peace.